Welcome everyone to lecture 5. Really glad to have you all here. Today we will be talking about, first, how to improve your airport experience. Travel can be stressful for a lot of people, even though it is extremely fun. A big part of that can be the airport experience, waiting in those long lines, waiting for your plane, trying to get through security. That can all kind of suck. So we're going to show you how to make it better. Specifically, we're going to be talking about TSA PreCheck, Global Entry, and Clear. These are programs that can help you get through airport security at a much faster rate and can make your travel experience, especially going through security, significantly easier. We're also going to talk about lounge access. So instead of waiting for your plane at the gate and paying for airport food, you'll have a nice place to sit and relax and eat some free food, and it will be a lot more fun, I promise you. We're also going to talk a little bit about improving your hotel experience. So we're going to be talking about American Express Fine Hotels and Resorts, which is a unique program which can help you level up your hotel game. And this is a bit of a preview into hotel statuses, which we will talk about in a future lecture. Any questions before we get started? Okay, cool. So first, let's talk about skipping long TSA lines. So we want to go from this big crowded mess of airport security and waiting for a TSA line, and we want to go to this, an empty, free, easy experience, walking to TSA, going through with ease, not having any major restrictions on what we can bring in, and significantly improve our experience. So the first way we can do this is with TSA PreCheck. So if you're not aware, TSA PreCheck is a way that can help trusted travelers experience security in an easier fashion. So some of the benefits are it's a typically shorter line than a standard TSA line. So that's a pretty good benefit in and of its own, right? Just a quicker line. But you also don't have to remove shoes, light jackets, laptops, belts, and allowed liquids. So that's another benefit as well, right? Just being able to walk to security, not have to take everything out of your bags, put them on the security belts, have them x-ray it all, and then put it all back while you're trying to go through a crowded line. That would be a nice benefit. So let's do a breakdown of what the TSA line looks like for those of you unaware, because it's probably been a while since we've been on planes. If this would load. It's funny because it's actually loaded on the recording, but it's not loaded on the projector. Okay, there we go. So we can see a breakdown of the TSA line. So there's kind of two main parts to it. There's the ID check step, which is, this is on the left, and then there's the actual screening step. So if you remember going through an airport, right, you have to wait first in a long line so the TSA agent can check your ID and boarding pass to make sure that you're actually allowed to go on the plane and that you actually have a ticket to go on the plane. And then there's the screening phase, which is, that's when they x-ray all your bags and you gotta like walk through the metal scanner and do all that fun stuff. So typically there's two lines for the ID check. There's the standard TSA line, and then there's the TSA PreCheck line. So the standard TSA line is usually longer than the TSA PreCheck line, but they are two separate lines to check IDs. Then you split off into the pre-physical screening, the PreCheck physical screening, and the standard TSA physical screening. So if you are TSA PreCheck, you would get in the ID check line, which is typically shorter, then go to the PreCheck physical screening, which is typically easier. If you're standard TSA, just have no trusted traveler programs, then you get in the long TSA line and then go through the very annoying process of the standard TSA physical screening. So the worst is just if you have no ability, right? If you have no trusted traveler programs. So that's just doing standard TSA, what most of us have probably done. That's the worst, right? You gotta wait in a long line, then you gotta do the really annoying physical screening. No one likes that. A slight step up is standard TSA PreCheck, which some of you may have, right? This is just waiting in the TSA PreCheck line, doing the ID check, and then doing the TSA PreCheck physical screening. There's actually a step above this though. This is Clear plus TSA PreCheck. So Clear is a new form of lane to do an ID check. So Clear has a bunch of information stored about you in their trusted program. And the idea is instead of waiting in this long line for the agent to check your ID manually and your boarding pass manually, you just walk right up to a Clear terminal, put your boarding pass in, scan your fingerprint, and you are good to go onto the screening part. And so if you have TSA PreCheck as well, you can go straight from Clear, which you skip the whole ID check, you walk straight to the front, and then you go to the PreCheck physical screening, which is easier. So this can significantly make the whole security process much, much easier. Any questions so far? Okay. So what is the cost of these, right? If these benefits were all free, everyone would have them. Why wouldn't you have Clear plus TSA PreCheck if I can just skip the lines and go ahead? So there is a standard associated cost for most people that aren't into credit cards. So for TSA PreCheck, the standard cost is $85 per every 5 years. So you pay the $85 application fee, you get TSA PreCheck, and you hold it for 5 years. However, it also comes free with global entry. So we'll talk about global entry in a second, but if you hold a global entry, which costs $100 every 5 years, then you automatically have TSA PreCheck. So there's no need to buy both of them. Notice it's bold because this is going to be the optimal strategy we'll talk about in a second. For Clear, it is much more expensive. The standard cost is $179 per year, not every 5 years, per year. It's only $50 a year for students, by the way, so nice benefit. You can get it for free or discounted other ways if you have certain airline elite status, but honestly, it's like, one, this is still cheaper than even the discounted versions, so unless you're getting it for free via really high tier airline elite status, this is probably going to be the cheapest way to get it for students. We're going to optimize this a step further in a second, though. So those are the standard costs. If you wanted to go out and buy global entry and Clear as a student, for 1 year, it would be $100 for global entry, $50 for Clear, and then you'd have to renew Clear every year, but you would not have to renew global entry for 5 years. So global entry, effectively, we're not really going to go too much into detail, but it makes clearing US customs at the airport easier when you're arriving back home. It can be a very nice perk. But the important thing is that it also gives you TSA PreCheck. So if you hold global entry, you also have PreCheck. And the cost, as I said, is $100 per every 5 years. So any questions before we talk about how to get some of these credits for free? Yes?
Do all the airports around the world have like TSA PreCheck and Clear, or are there some that don't?
Great question. So do all the airports in the world have TSA PreCheck and Clear? No, unfortunately. So like only US airports are going to have like TSA PreCheck, right? Because it's a US-based government organization. For Clear, it's even a smaller footprint than that. I don't know the exact list, but the major airports around the US, and I don't know internationally where Clear has their terminals. So it is a limited footprint. It's not guaranteed everywhere. For global entry, that's more of an international thing, where at some airports you can actually like clear customs before arriving in the US. So that's also a limited footprint. But it's still a significant enough footprint where if you are traveling fairly frequently, you will notice a difference. Oh, do you have a question? Same question. OK, perfect. So now, there are certain credit cards that offer a statement credit to cover the cost of either TSA PreCheck or global entry. Notice it's either. So the cards that offer these credit, you can either buy TSA PreCheck or you can buy global entry. Does anyone see where I'm going with this? Why would you buy TSA PreCheck? Because you could just buy global entry and get PreCheck as well. So unless for some reason you're ineligible for global entry, you should always buy global entry because it comes with PreCheck for the same or for a very marginally higher fee. But if the card's reimbursing you anyways, who cares? So these credits, when you have them, they renew every 5 years on the cards that provide them. And the message is, if you're going to buy it, buy global entry. It comes with PreCheck. So what cards offer a PreCheck or global entry credit? This is where it gets important. So there's actually a lot of cards that offer PreCheck and global entry credits, like a stupid amount of cards. There are so many cards that offer this credit that you can't even really count it in terms of trying to reduce your annual fee, because if you're into credit cards at all, it is almost certain that you're going to have way too many of these credits to spend. So some examples: the American Express Platinum Card, the Capital One Venture X, the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, the American Express Business Platinum, and the Chase IHG Premier. So these are just a very small subset of all the cards that provide TSA, PreCheck, or Global Entry credits. Pretty much most travel cards of any sort are going to provide something, some perk or benefit similar to this, or pretty much the same credit. So if you start getting any decent credit cards, you will definitely have a lot of these credits to spend. And you can use it to buy TSA PreCheck or Global Entry for your family or friends as well, because all you have to do is charge the application fee to your card. So I used it to buy TSA PreCheck for like 2 of my family members as well. And the only reason I haven't bought it for more is because I can't I haven't sat down and filled out the application with them. I have far too many of these credits to spend, and you will too eventually. So very easy to attain TSA PreCheck or Global Entry. So which cards offer a clear credit? This is the much more expensive one. So this is probably the more important one that offers credits. Unfortunately, there are not a lot of cards that offer clear credits. There are very few, actually. So as some examples, the American Express Platinum Card, the American Express Business Platinum Card, and the American Express Green Card. Although the Amex Green Card doesn't really provide it, it gives you $100 per year of a statement credit towards your clear fee. So if you're a student and only paying $50 per year, this is fine. This will pay your fee twice. But if you are paying the standard clear membership fee of $180, you're going to need one of these. You can also get it clear discounted if you're just a member of like certain airlines' programs. So like even if you don't hold elite status, if you're, for example, I believe if you have a United or Delta account, they will give you a discounted clear membership of like 120 or something like that. So not optimal, but it's cheaper. So these are really the 3 main cards that provide this clear benefit. Most cards do not provide clear, so it's much harder to get. What questions do we have? Yes?
So when you say we can like buy Global Entry for family and friends, like how much do you need to pay for the application?
Great. So yeah, how much do we have to pay for the Global Entry application? The cost associated with Global Entry is just the application fee. So when I say Global Entry is $100 for 5 years, it's just that's the application fee. So if you charge the application fee to a credit card that reimburses the Global Entry application fee once per 5 years, then it will be reimbursed. There's no other associated cost. So if you have a card where you haven't used the Global Entry credit and you have a family member applying for Global Entry, you can just charge that application fee to your card and it will be reimbursed. Any other questions? Okay, so let's talk about lounge access now. This one's a little more fun. So our goal for lounge access is to go from this, a crowded, jumbled mess, waiting at your gate amongst a giant slew of people, catching COVID from everyone, and paying an exorbitant amount of rate for airport food. And we would like to go to this, a nice, relaxing, open, empty bar with free drinks and free food that you can sit at and relax before your flight. This sounds a lot nicer. I think you would all agree. So just, like other than what I just said, what do you want for airport lounge, right? We want the free food. We want the free drinks. We don't want to pay $10 for a stale bagel in the airport. You also would maybe like a place to rest, shower, or nap. Yes, some lounges have nap rooms or showers that you can use. And that is probably really nice. Imagine getting off of a long international flight, hopping into a shower room, and then going to take a nap before your next flight. That sounds a lot nicer than just waiting in the middle of the airport terminal. So as some examples of what airport lounges maybe look like, this is the Turkish lounge at IAD. You can get in this via a Priority Pass membership. We'll talk about Priority Pass in a second if you're not familiar. And this is the picture we just actually saw. the speakeasy at the Centurion Lounge in JFK Airport, and you can get in here holding the American Express Platinum card. This is a pretty cool like little bar. I've actually wanted to check this out if I'm ever in New York again. But I don't know if I'll ever go to New York again. But yeah, this is actually a really cool lounge. Like this is a very famous lounge right here, the JFK one. Has anyone been to this lounge or has anyone been to a Centurion lounge? You have? How was it? Pretty cool? Oh, you're under 21, so you can't have the free alcohol. Ah, that ruins it, yeah. Ironically, even though I hold the Platinum card, I've never been to an airport lounge. Just because I got the Platinum card like still during COVID, so I'd never had the chance to go to a lounge. I'm looking forward to it though. I almost like, if I'm gonna book a flight, I'm almost tempted to go out of SFO instead of Oakland just to go to the Centurion Lounge. I really wanna try it. So how do you get into these lounges, right? Same problem with TSA PreCheck and Clear. They're not just gonna let people in for free. Why would they give you free food and free drinks for nothing? So there's a variety of methods to get into these lounges. So one, fly first or business class. Easy, right? Yeah, I wish. That would be the best. If we just could all fly first or business class every single flight, we could get into any of the lounges we wanted to associated with that airline, eat the free food all day, and do nothing and just be super rich. That would be the life. Another way is to have certain airline elite status. So if you're a high status holder with certain airlines, they will let you access their lounges for free as like a thank you for being that high tier of a member. You can pay an entry fee to some of these lounges. No thank you. I'm not gonna pay $65 to eat airport food. So the way we're gonna care about is having lounge access via credit cards, because certain credit cards provide you free lounge access. Free in the sense that once you are at the lounge, you don't have to pay anything to get in, to eat, whatever you want. You do have to pay the annual fee of the credit card, of course, though. So, what types of lounges are there via credit cards? There are three main types. So the first being, as we talked before, Priority Pass. Priority Pass is simply just a large network of partner airport lounges. So it was originally described as, or created as a membership where you could pay an annual subscription to Priority Pass, and in exchange, you could visit any one of their airport lounges. So a typical standard Priority Pass membership for unlimited lounge access is about $500 per year. Very expensive, not really worth it unless you were traveling a significant amount. That's why we're not gonna pay $500 for a Priority Pass membership. That's a ripoff. Another type of lounge is an Airline Specific Lounge. So these, you might have heard of Delta Sky Clubs, United Clubs, American Airlines Admiral Clubs, stuff like that. So branded lounges of a particular airline. As a note, some Airline Specific Lounges are partners of Priority Pass, so you can get into them via a Priority Pass membership. And the most interesting type, in my opinion, the most interesting type is the card-specific lounges, meaning you actually need to hold a particular credit card to get in. And so the main examples of these are the Centurion Lounge, which you need to hold the American Express Platinum or Centurion cards to get in, or the newly opened Capital One lounges that they are trying to build their network out on. I heard those are actually pretty good. So these are the main ways to get lounge access, either holding a Priority Pass membership through a credit card, getting airline-specific lounge access via a credit card, or a card-specific lounge access via a credit card. So which cards provide Priority Pass? There are a lot. As some examples, we have the Hilton Aspire, one of my favorite cards, the Amex Platinum, one of my favorite cards, the Marriott Brilliant, one of my favorite cards, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, not one of my favorite cards, and the Venture X, one of my favorite cards, kind of. So these all provide Priority Pass access. As a side note, we do need to address that not all Priority Pass memberships are created equal. So this gets really weird, but so there are Priority Pass lounges, which are like the standard lounge. You walk up at the door, you get into the lounge, you just eat whatever you want. There's also Priority Pass partner restaurants. So in an airport, let's say there's like a P.F. Chang's. So it's not a lounge, it's like a restaurant that people just go normally to eat at. They have partnered with Priority Pass. I don't know if it's that particular restaurant, but restaurants like that have partnered with Priority Pass, where they'll say, hey, you're a Priority Pass member. So you and your guests get a $28 each credit to spend at the restaurant. Certain memberships of Priority Pass provide that benefit, certain ones don't. So for example, Chase's Priority Pass membership does include Priority Pass restaurants. So I could go to that restaurant with my Chase Sapphire Reserve Priority Pass card and say, hey, I want, my credits or whatever, and they'll say, sure. However, Amex's Priority Pass memberships don't include the restaurants. So that kind of sucks. So there's actually like different tiers, not tiers I would say, but like weird sub-rules for various Priority Pass memberships. So just because you have a Priority Pass membership via Amex Platinum, maybe you want to prioritize your Sapphire Reserve Priority Pass membership because that one will get you into the restaurants. Also, some of these cards, on the top of my head, I forget what the rules are for this exactly, but depending on your Priority Pass membership as well, you may be allowed to bring in a certain number of guests for free. So typically the standard amount is 2 guests for free. So I know on the Venture X, you go into the lounge with your Priority Pass card, you have 2 friends, you bring them in for free. Another note interesting on the Venture X is you can add authorized users to the card for free, and they get Priority Pass as well. So you could have a very large group of people all getting Priority Pass via this card, because you could add 3 authorized users, and then each one of those authorized users can also bring in 2 guests. So like a few people in here, if they had the Venture X, they could pretty much just bring the whole class into the lounge if they wanted. So which cards provide airline specific lounge access? So those type of like Delta Sky Clubs, United Clubs, stuff like that. There are not a lot of these. So some examples: the United Club card, the American Express Platinum card, the Citi AA Advantage Executive, and the Delta Reserve. So as a note, the Amex Platinum kind of provides airline specific lounge access. If you are flying Delta, then you have access to Delta Sky Clubs, which is like Delta's like business class kind of lounge. So these are cards that will give you access to those airline-specific lounges. So which cards provide card-specific lounge access? There are really not a lot of these, because there's not really a lot of card-specific lounge networks. So the 2 examples really are the American Express Platinum card and the Capital One Venture X. Is anyone noticing a pattern with which card is on every one of these slides for lounge access? The Amex Platinum, right? The Amex Platinum is pretty much the card for lounge access. If you want one credit card to get you in as many lounges as humanly possible, pick this card. This is a list taken from the points guy because I did not want to look up all the terms of what lounges the Amex Platinum lets you in because it's quite a lot. But you have access to the Amex Centurion, Delta Sky Club if you're flying Delta, Priority Pass Select, which is just a standard Priority Pass membership, the Escape Lounges, Plaza Premium Lounges, Lufthansa Lounges, and there's even other various lounges via their partnerships. So quite a lot of lounges you can get in with the American Express Platinum card. The problem is, oh, this sounds all wonderful, right? Oh, I have this card that can get me into any lounge I want pretty much, and I can just go eat free food. Well, there's a cost to it. This card has a $695 annual fee, the highest annual fee we have looked at so far. So how do we justify this hefty annual fee? I will introduce you to the Solid Platinum Coupon Book. It's pretty much how it sounds. It's like a coupon book, but it's a really good coupon book. But at the end of the day, it's still a coupon book. So yeah, pretty much what's the difference between a coupon book and the Amex Platinum? There is no difference. So what are some of these credits? And as a note, none of these roll over, okay? So if you don't use them, you lose them. 15 per month in Uber credit. This also works for Uber Eats. You get 35 in December, so it's effectively 200 per year in Uber credits. A $200 airline fee credit. This is intended to be used for things such as checked bags, seat assignment, stuff like that. We can turn this into airfare credit a little bit. There's some loopholes that we can make this a lot more useful. Amex doesn't really like it, but it's fine. There's a $200 annual hotel credit, only for use though at American Express FHR and the hotel collection. Let me close these. We'll talk about what FHR and we're not going to talk about the hotel collection today, but we will talk about FHR later today. You get $50 twice per year in Saks Fifth Avenue credits. Again, these don't roll over. So every 6 months, so one from January to June, one from June to December, you'll have a $50 credit at Saks Fifth Avenue. I didn't know what Saks Fifth Avenue was before this card. Does anyone do a lot of shopping at Saks Fifth Avenue? I think the most would be like a marginal amount. So yeah. You get a $179 annual clear credit. This one's pretty decent actually if you want the clear membership, especially if you're buying it at the student rate, because it's not just a one-time statement credit. You can use the credit as many times as you want up to this amount. So you could buy 3 clear memberships for students with this credit. You get a $20 per month entertainment credit. When they were rumoring this and we were all excited, like, oh, we're going to be able to use it to buy Netflix and Prime Video and all these fun things, right? No, wrong. You can use it with 4 companies. You're going to buy Audible and you're going to like it. Pretty much, yeah. The only good one, though, is Audible, unless you use SiriusXM, the New York Times, or Peacock. Those are the other 3. So yeah, pretty much I think the optimal strategy is just buy Peacock for $5 and then buy Audible for $15. I've bought Peacock for the last like 6 months. I haven't used it once, just because I'm using the credit. But Audible is kind of cool because the credits stack. So this is one way to make the credit kind of roll over, is you don't have to use your Audible credit each month. Like you buy the Audible membership with this credit, but that gives you 1 audiobook credit each month, and then you can just stack them up. So I have like 7 credits in my account now. Pretty cool. There are even more, but worse credits. So there's like credits I didn't even mention just because they kind of get really stupid. So there's like a $300 Equinox credit, which people thought was going to be cool, right? Oh, I could pay for a month of membership at Equinox. I'll just try it out for a month. No, you have to, it's $25 per month of Equinox credit, and it gets even worse. You can't even buy the base level membership with it. You either have to use it for their $40 a month app or like their premium tier, which is even more expensive than their already super expensive base tier. Yeah, that really sucked. Any questions so far? Like any of these credits, any of the rules of these credits, anything we've talked about? Okay, so I wanted to show you, there's actually a really exciting new rumored platinum credit. Okay, this is really good for those Starbucks drinkers out there. It's really exciting. They're going to have a $438 annual max credit, but it's 5 cents per hour, no rollover. Okay, if you couldn't tell, this is a joke. But yeah, this is a guy on YouTube. He was kind of making fun of how American Express divides up their credits, like month by month or twice per year. And yeah, this one really got a chuckle out of me. Yeah, 5 cents per hour, no rollover, hour to hour. So if you buy 1 Starbucks every hour, you'll save $438 throughout the year. The funny thing is, when I was watching this video at first, it doesn't say it's a joke in the title. So for the first like 2 rumored credits that were completely fake, I believed them. I was like, these are kind of weird, but like I still believe they were credits. And the first one was like a buy one, get one entree at Applebee's. I can't believe I fell for that. Okay. Yeah, any questions at all, though, before we go to fine hotels and resorts? Okay, so what is American Express Fine Hotels and Resorts? So I'm going to say FHR here for short. So FHR is a booking platform for luxury hotels, and it can help provide you some nice perks to make your hotel stay more enjoyable. So how do you use FHR? Well, you need to either hold the Amex Platinum or the Amex Centurion card. We're going to talk about the Centurion card in a second. And so the next thing we're going to talk about in like 2 slides from now is what benefits does FHR provide. I did want to show you all something. This is kind of cool. I actually just got this card. So the Amex Centurion, I just got it like in the mail like a week ago. So I was like, this is my one here. It's like really cool. It's like thick metal. So what are the benefits of this card? Well, This is the famous black card, if you've ever heard about it in the news. It has a $10,000 initiation fee, a $5,000 annual fee. So the first year of holding this card, it cost $15,000. All my internship money gone. This is only for ultra big spenders. So you have to spend at least, to even be considered for this card, $250,000 a year on other Amex cards. Even that, you're probably not going to get the card. You have to spend a hefty, hefty amount on other Amex cards. And you can't even apply for this. You have to be invited by American Express. So you get with it an actual Equinox membership, which is literally like $3,700 a year if you were to buy it. So it's actually a decent value, because if you wanted to go to Equinox, because some people actually do pay for that membership, this actually can help reduce the cost. You get Delta Platinum status. This is actually pretty good, because like normally you have to earn airline status by flying a lot. This can help you get like first class upgrades very easily. And then also the Centurion Concierge. So as an example of what the Centurion Concierge can do, this is a story from Brian Kelly, the founder of the Points Guy. So I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but essentially what happened was, he was on Bali, and the volcano like on the island or near the island erupted, and no one could leave. And he was stranded there, everyone was stranded there. He calls up Amex Centurion Concierge. They string this dude a string of like boats, vans, and planes together to make him the only one that's able to like get off the island. Insane. By the way, if you can't tell, I was completely joking about having the Centurion card. I wish so badly I could ever get invited to that card. That would never happen. This is a fake Centurion card. My girlfriend bought this for me on eBay. I think it actually could like work as a card. It has a mag strip in it. So I'm kind of been tempted to like program it with my card number in it. So I could go up to like a hotel, drop this on the desk, hope they know what it is, and then think I'm like super rich and then upgrade me. Yeah, you were all thinking I was like mega baller for a second. I wish. Got real quiet in here. So yeah, so the benefits of FH, or any questions actually about the Centurion card? I kind of just glossed over this like insanely amazing credit card. This is pretty much like the credit card of all credit cards, for anyone that ever wanted it, but it is extraordinarily hard to attain. Yes? This fake one, it was 50 for 2 of them. So I have another one, but the chip fell out. So I don't use that one to like prank people anymore, because it doesn't look like is realistic. But yeah, $50 for 2, and they'll customize it with your name and like whatever card number you want as well. So there's people that sell them on eBay. I don't know if it's illegal or not, but definitely a fun prop. Any other questions? No one wants to know any cool other perks of the Centurion card? Oh, yes? The main other perk I was going to like just talk about is it has a ton of hotel statuses with it. So like just a wide net of, so like Hilton Diamond, IHG Platinum, Marriott Gold. Like most of them aren't even that good. It's just so many of them. The main reason though, yeah, you get the card is just the concierge. So, with the concierge actually, this is related to the story we just talked about, where they can actually, like at certain airports, they will like meet you there. They'll have an Amex representative meet you at the airport and just like run you through security and just like get you straight to the plane, take care of everything for you. So that's a really cool perk. There's also like, it's kind of weird, but it's like Hertz. They have like a Hertz status, like the top tier invite only Hertz status. So like they'll actually like the Hertz representative will like meet you at the gate, like when you get out of the plane, and like walk you straight to your rental car ready to go. Like you don't have to wait in that stupid line, and they have like the board of names, and it's like you're waiting like 10 minutes for your car. They'll just take you right there. So very cool card. If any of you get invited to it, I mean, oh yes?
So like, have you ever shown your fake card to any hotels or like restaurants to get some perks?
I haven't, because it doesn't like scan yet. I haven't programmed it with the actual card number. The only thing I'm worried about is if I program it with the card number, I think it would be fine, yeah, because I'll just program it with an Amex card number. So then when they scan it, it would show an American Express card. So they would probably be convinced it was a Centurion. The only other problem is they've then since changed the Centurion design. So this is like the old design, but they've updated it. So I don't know, like unless you're like a really big credit card nerd, you probably wouldn't tell the difference. But I haven't yet. I want to though. I think that'd be fun to try, especially like at a hotel trying to get a suite upgrade. Maybe I will. Yeah, maybe I will. I feel like in a place like Vegas, especially, Like, I feel like Vegas would be a cool place to try it, just because they'll think you're like a big high roller gonna go gamble a bunch. Maybe I will next time I go to Vegas. So back to Amex FHR. So this is, as we said, a platform to book luxury hotels to get significant perks that can make your stay better. So the main ones here, or I'll list them all and then we'll talk about the ones that are important. So you get noon check-in when available. You get a room upgrade 1 category on arrival if available. You get daily breakfast for 2 people. You get guaranteed 4 p.m. late checkout. You get free Wi-Fi, whoop-de-doo. And you get a unique property amenity. The ones we care about are the daily breakfast for 2, the guaranteed 4 p.m. checkout, and the unique property amenity. So you only need to stay 1 night for all of these credits to work. You do not have to book like a really long stay to get all these perks. You can just stay 1 night. The unique property amenity is only once per stay. So if I stay 7 nights, or if I stay 1 night, I only get 1 amenity. What is this amenity? Well, it's usually worth about $100 at least. And what we really like to see is when it is a food or beverage credit. So a lot of these hotels will provide between a $100 to $125 food and beverage credit to use during your stay. Even if you're staying for 1 night, you get $125 to spend on food and beverage. That's very useful. So, or actually before we go on to this thing, yeah, I want to also just mention, so yeah, daily breakfast for 2, this is usually valued at $30 a person for 2 people, so $60 of food. And the guaranteed 4 p.m. late checkout is actually very powerful because that's pretty much unheard of for other hotels or just for standard hotel programs. They'll maybe have 4 p.m. checkout upon availability, but this is guaranteed, meaning they have to provide it to you. So let's look at some example hotels maybe want to book with FHR. So here we have, okay, these hotels in Hawaii, very nice, 4 seasons. Another one here, another 4 seasons. Okay, this looks pretty nice, right? These all have $100 food credits. Sounds pretty good. Sounds like we're going to save a lot of money on our stay, right? Wrong. Ooh, so yeah, this one's $3,000 a night, $1,300 a night, $2,500 a night. Whew, looks like we're in a different tax bracket. So what's the point of FHR if all the hotels cost like $2,000 a night? Who cares if I save $100 on food? If I'm paying for a $2,000 hotel in cash, I don't need to save the $100. So that's what you think, but here's where it gets good. Vegas FHR. Vegas is very powerful for this because most hotels on FHR are very expensive, except for Las Vegas. Las Vegas has a very large grouping of luxury hotels that you can book with FHR. And because Vegas hotels on the weekdays are fairly cheap, this means you can get some pretty cool perks in Vegas still. So as an example here, this is just a screenshot I took of like booking, let's say, next Sunday. So you want to stay at the Palazzo, that's $200. You want to stay at the Delano, that's $100. The Delano sucks, by the way. Don't go there. I went there on a trip, and like it literally took an hour to like order breakfast, the free breakfast, and then it arrived like cold. So maybe it's better now, but yeah, the Delano kind of sucks. But still, for about $100 to $200, you can stay in these Vegas hotels. Still like a significant amount to spend for 1 night. But if you're going with some friends, it's a fairly reasonable cost, for a Vegas trip at least. So this is where it gets cool, right? So this is an example of a practical FHR booking, not a $2,000 a night hotel that we're going to book when we're all billionaires, but something maybe you would book with your friends for like a weekend trip or just a few night trip. So let's look at the Conrad at Resorts World in Vegas. If you remember the intro video to the course, me and my girlfriend stayed at Crockford's at Resorts World. Same hotel complex, just a different specific hotel. So the Conrad is $81 a night next Sunday. That is before resort fees, though. So our total trip cost for 1 night at the Conrad would be $143.71. But we get $241 of food and beverage credit. How? Well, the Conrad offers a $125 food and beverage credit that can be used during our stay. And in this case, right, we're saying we're staying for 1 night, only 1 night. So you get $125 to use it, food and beverage, so like the restaurants at Resorts World. You get $66 for breakfast. At this particular hotel, it's 33 per person instead of 30. And so that's for 2 people. And so you'll get $66 for breakfast. And on top of that, you're going to get a $50 dining credit By having Hilton Gold status. How do you have Hilton Gold status? Hilton Gold comes with the American Express Platinum card. So if you're booking through FHR, that means you already have Hilton Gold. Conrad is a brand owned by Hilton, by the way. So for this one-night stay that we paid $143 for, we're getting $241 of food credits. You could make the argument that if you were going to go to dinner at Resorts World, which is a very popular place now to go to dinner, there's a lot of nice restaurants. If you were going to go to dinner there with a bunch of your friends and spend a bunch of money, it could be cheaper to buy a hotel room first. It could be cheaper for you to buy an actual room for the night just for the dining credits that you could spend at Resorts World. That is how powerful FHR can be if you use it right. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, this is for a one-night stay. Who goes to a hotel and stay one night? That's stupid. Here's the thing that's cool though about Vegas. All the high-end hotels are like right next to each other. So it's really easy to hotel hop. And it's fun too. You can go from casino to casino or like high-end hotel to high-end hotel and try them all out. And because you have guaranteed 4 p.m. checkout, you can leave really, really late. So you could go to the Conrad for a night, then maybe you go to Crockford's, then you go to the Bellagio, then you go to the Wynn, right? It's like less than a 5-minute drive. And so you're getting like $200 of food credits per hotel you stay at. So if you're willing to change every night, you will get a lot of food credit. And so you and your friends could just go to Vegas, pay for your hotel cost, and basically get free dining. It gets very fun too because this takes the stress out of like food cost. So it pretty much becomes irrelevant, right? You can, unless you're eating like really high-end stuff or drinking really expensive alcohol, I hope you're not gonna blow through $241 in one night and still need more money. It allows you to experience the fun dining, right? You're not trying to go to the Subway like 3 blocks away from the Strip and trying to like order like half a foot long and splitting it with your friends, right? That kind of kills the experience. You get to eat at the expensive restaurants and have the room service, right? I showed you this before, but this is the lemongrass creme brulee I had at Crockford's. Oh my God, that was so good. Best creme brulee I've ever had. And then this is a picture, wait. This is like, for example, we ordered a big room service buffet basically at Crockford's right when we got there because we were constantly trying to figure out the whole trip, how do we spend all the credit? We had too much. We couldn't go through it. We were so full. So we had like a quesadilla and a big burger and a smoothie and it was just so good. It makes it way more fun when you don't have to care about the food cost. And it's really fun to just be like, oh, you know what? That's more expensive. Let me buy it just for the sake of it being more expensive because you're not paying for it. So yeah, it's just really fun. Any questions before we move on to like action items? Just any questions at all? Yes?
Does the dining include alcohol?
Does the dining include alcohol? So it depends on the credit. So the thing is, these are like 3 different credits, right? So they all have different terms associated with them. So usually how the breakfast credit will work is this is like at a particular restaurant or the hotel or room service. How the Hilton dining credit works, for example, that's also kind of the same idea, room service or a particular restaurant. So usually they don't care what you order though. So alcohol should be fine. Alcohol should be included. Same thing with this. This is actually the most versatile top credit here. This can be used at almost any of the Resorts World restaurants. So yes, alcohol would likely be included. What isn't included, however, is tip and tax. So you still have to pay that. But that's still a significant discount, right? If you're telling me all I gotta pay is the tip and tax on my food, that's awesome. I would love to just order whatever I want still. But yes, alcohol is included. Any other questions? Okay, so action items this week are going to be posted on Monday. There will be a quiz on the list of action items, so make sure to do that. But yeah, it's not posted now. It will be here on Monday. And this is the attendance form on the left. This is the feedback form. Please, please, please fill out the feedback form so I can get better at this. And the secret word for the attendance form is Napa. And while you're all filling that out, feel free to just ask any other questions. Could be about anything we talked about today. I feel like a lot of the topics today are pretty fun when you actually implement them and use them.
How much value do you think you get out of the platinum?
Out of the platinum? I think I'm easily able to justify the annual fee. I actually got the card right before the annual fee went up to $700, so I only had to pay $550, only $550, but it was, I think it was definitely worth it because I'm able to use both the hotel, because I got it in June, right? And a lot of the credits reset by calendar year. So right when January 1st rolled around, I got to double up on the credits. So I've probably gotten like 1,500 or more out of the Platinum easily, not even including the bonus. But yeah, so I've done like a few FHR stays. I have another one coming up April 1st, which is I'm excited. I'm going to Lake Tahoe with my FHR credit. So yeah, around like 1,500 to 2,000, I think, depending, like in value, right? Like would I have paid for it all? No, but that's kind of the fun, right? I get it at a discount.
So there's
Yes.
no limit to like FHR?
Is there a limit to FHR credits? There is no limit to how much you can use FHR. So I could go to a new hotel every night with FHR, 100% fine.
Okay, so as long as you just hop around, it's like you can milk the benefits.
Exactly. If you hop around with FHR, you can milk the benefits all you want. What you can't do, however, I can't go, okay, I'm staying at the Conrad. I check in on day 1. Okay, day 2, I check out. Oh, I check in with a mustache, and I get my credits again, right? They know it's still me. So if you wait a day gap, though, what you can do completely valid. I could go to the Conrad day 1. I could go to the Crockford's day 2. I could go to the Conrad day 3. I could go to the Crockford's day 4, right? That's completely fine. What's also fine is if you're player 2 as the Platinum, and you guys just check out, check in at the same hotel. So I could be at the Conrad. I check in day 1. I check out day 2. My player 2 checks in day 2 with me, checks out day 3. I check back in. So you could just hotel hop at the same hotel if 2 people have the Platinum card. Very cool. And it even works if it's an authorized user Platinum card. Yes?
Yeah, I had a question. How much do you travel to justify, I guess, like the lounge experiences at the airports? Because you mentioned you got a card like over COVID and haven't been able to like redeem that experience, or just in general per year to like have a card versus like maybe book like one first class flight and experience the lounge versus like holding that the entire year.
Yeah, so how do I justify the lounge access on the card if I'm not actually using the lounge? So yeah, I got the Platinum card over COVID. I have not been to an airport lounge ever, even with the card. And so how am I justifying the $550 to $700 annual fee on that card? The thing is, for me, I didn't get the card just for the lounge access. Like that was a nice perk, but I had to look at, okay, with the credits that come monthly, with the other credits, how much can I justify? So I knew, for example, I can actually extract $200 of value from the $200 airline fee credit. I was able to give myself $200 of Southwest airfare credit from that. So $200 knocked off. I thought, you know what, I pretty much order DoorDash or Uber Eats once a month anyways. And since you can pick up with Uber Eats, I feel like, okay, I could get a lot out of that too. Then for some credits like the Audible stuff, I don't really get that much value out of it, but at least I get to stack the Audible credits. The FHR $200, that I get value out of. Because I wanted to do that stuff anyways, and it's really fun to go to Vegas or go to Lake Tahoe and use those credits. So in terms of the lounge access itself, I'm not getting value out of it at all. So if that's the only reason I got the card, I couldn't justify keeping it open. But I'm able to justify it via the credits that come with it, and I knew that I would not mind putting in the work to optimize how to get my money back from it. As just one side note before we all go, with those high annual fee cards like the Platinum, what you can do is if let's say the annual fee is rolling around and it's expensive and I don't want to pay it, I can call them up and be like, hey, this is a high annual fee. I'm not really getting all the perks I want. Maybe I can't visit the lounges right now. Could you give me a retention offer? And oftentimes they might say yes. And the retention offer could either be, hey, we'll give you $400 for spending $3,000 in 3 months, or maybe we'll give you 40,000 points for spending $3,000 in 3 months. And that can pretty much offset the whole annual fee right there. 40,000 Amex points, if you value Amex points at 2 cents a point, that's about $800 of value. So just getting a retention offer like that can already offset the annual fee. So when in doubt, call for a retention offer. If you're going to cancel the card anyways, or even downgrade the card anyways, there is no harm in asking for a retention offer. Okay, thank you everyone. I'll see you all next week.